What it do, YouTube? Welcome back to the 613 YouTube channel, where we idiots decide when to act stupid. All the players. Bye week. The bye week.
You gotta start over, bro. Sneeze.
And when to act professional.
Very professional here at 613 Sports. Well, man's always calling my house professional.
And today we're acting professional. Why is that, Cam?
We got a big one today. Eddie got into a little bit of social media beef over the past week regarding the MJ versus LeBron debate, and Eddie explained to him what's gonna happen today.
So yeah, I was just watching, Deej Design stream on YouTube. Here it is, and the chat we were debating LeBron versus Jordan. Who is the GOAT? And obviously me always getting into beef and stuff.
Never.
There was a couple points made, and I decided, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna make a video on this. I'm gonna give the people what they want. We're gonna break down. We're gonna figure out who is the GOAT. And honestly, just to start it off, people saying LeBron is the GOAT of this generation. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How are you gonna be a GOAT of a generation? The term GOAT means greatest of all time. You know what falls under all time? Generations. So no. If someone's the greatest of all time, I don't care who's the greatest of a generation, they can't be the greatest of all time as well. And guess who's the greatest of all time? Jordan.
And as you can already tell, Eddie's already pretty fired up about this one. So I'm gonna have to bring him back down to earth with some cold hard facts about LeBron, and we'll show him what's good real quick. We're gonna have to hit him with a little bit of a nice little argument here. Bring him back down, level it up. Alright, so the way this debate's gonna work is we're gonna have to break it down into 3 categories to determine who really is the GOAT. Not of the era, like Eddie said, of all time. We're gonna break it down by points, by strength of teams they played on, and then last and certainly not least, their accolades.
Yeah, so like I said, throw the stats on the screen. Here's some basic points. We're gonna break it down by points per game. So Jordan, 30.1 points per game compared to LeBron, 27.1. Versus, LeBron does have 7.4 assists compared to Jordan's 6.2.
Quite a bit more.
Sorry, that's rebounds. Assists, they have 7.4 to 5.3. So yes, LeBron does have more assists. However, Jordan has more steals with 2.3 compared to LeBron's 1.6. And you go down to stats, 2.7 turnovers for Jordan compared to LeBron's 3.5, and these are regular season stats. Cameron, you can't really debate these.
You really can, because you can see very clearly LeBron has played on much weaker teams, which we'll get into later, but he had to make his teammates better, which is why his assist and rebound numbers are better, because he was out there making his team better and not just chasing points like Jordan was. LeBron was out there putting up assists and rebounds, and their points are pretty close, which is still not bad. And LeBron had to make more risky passes. That's just why his turnovers are better, which his turnovers are higher, but LeBron's rebounds and assists are better, and it's not close.
You know how math works, right?
Do you? The points are about 4-point difference, which is maybe 1-2 shots a game.
Per game.
Okay, so one or two shots per game.
Jordan, so LeBron has played 1,200 games.
Yeah, so his rebounds and his assists and points, everything should be going down as he's getting older and his play is declining.
If he's the GOAT, he should have more points per game. No, you have that longer.
If you look at it, Jordan only played in his prime. LeBron's point totals have been going down recently because he's playing until he's 35 years old.
Let's look at the playoff stats.
Okay, let's look at the playoff stats. LeBron, same thing again. More rebounds per game, more assists per game. You have the stats there. You want to read them off? You can run up on the screen as well, Brandon.
Jordan has more points and it's an even bigger margin, 33.4 to 28.8. He has more steals, 2.1 steals to 1.7. Less turnovers,
That's literally
3.1 to 3.7. Yeah, literally. Less turnovers, more steals. Jordan is the better defensive player, yet he's getting more points. So you're telling me that he has more points per game and he has more defensive plays per game. So he's the more all-around player for greatest of all time. LeBron's is there passing the teammates. Yes, let me get it straight right off the bat, early on. LeBron, we're never going to see a player like him again. However, and I'm willing, he's the second best player ever, all right?
He's the best player ever.
But he's not the best. There's nothing wrong with being the second greatest player ever.
Just like you're the second best guy on this YouTube channel, because LeBron is the GOAT. It's very clear. He had more rebounds, more assists in a harder playoff series,
What? Bro, what are you? Boy, if you don't get...
He had to put up more. He didn't have to shoot as many points, but they were still able to come out because he was making his teammates better, propping them up. He didn't have to just be him taking the shots. He was spreading the ball around and trying to draw the defenders to him and help his teammates get open shots, which is why his assists and rebounds are higher than Jordan's.
You're passing to AD, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie.
He played 1 year with AD.
Okay, and look, they won. And you have Kyrie, you have Wade, you have all these players. Obviously, your
because Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman are trash, apparently.
Jordan, the point is, though, Jordan has more points, and he has more defensive
Oh, I didn't know
plays.
the whole game was only about points.
How do you win a game?
By being better like LeBron is.
No, how do you win a game? How does a team win a game in basketball?
It's an all-around game.
By getting more points
Okay, Booker
than the other
McFarland
team.
out here now.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
From a journalistic point of view, looking at these,
I don't think you're a journalist, sir.
looking at these, yes, LeBron has more assists. He has more rebounds. The blocks are on the same. So, I mean, it's just those two things LeBron's better at. You look at it after, Jordan has more points. He has more steals.
By
he has more
literally like
turnovers.
0.3.
And he's doing all this in a lot less games played.
Exactly. So his points should be better if he was dominant for a shorter period of time. LeBron's been dominant for a way longer period of time. So obviously his stats are gonna be a little bit lower when he's playing until he's 35
In
years
each
old.
of their prime, Jordan was the better player.
Oh really? What stats do you have that says that? Because those stats are for LeBron's whole career, not for his prime.
Points per game, it's delete. You know.
It's yeah, that's what I thought. His points per game should be
Alright.
lower if he played 500 more games. than him.
Segment 1. Can we decide who's the GOAT based off stats?
LeBron.
Clearly not. I mean, I made my point. You made a point. Let's call it a draw.
Decide down in the comments.
But we just told you stats. Segment 2. Whoosh.
Strength of team. So Jordan had way stronger teams when he was winning those championships than LeBron did. LeBron's teams, he was carrying those trash Cavs teams for so many years. The Heat, sure they had 2 good players that one year, but so did Jordan. Every single year he won a championship. The Lakers had 1 good player besides LeBron when they won a championship. Jordan always needed at least 2 to 3 elite players on his team to win a championship.
Let's talk about the level of competition.
Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Jordan's playing Celtics, Pistons, Jazz, Knicks. All those players on those teams. Incredible competition compared to what we see in the NBA here. NBA, we just have a bunch of like 2 or 3 super teams.
Really? And LeBron beat those super teams.
This year in the playoffs, LeBron did not play a team that was ranked higher than 3rd place in the seedings to win this
Okay.
to win the finals.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
That's one
That's
year.
the strength.
That's 1 year.
It's the strength, and he won it though.
Okay,
It's
and
a
Jordan beat
strength.
some pretty weak teams in his prime too.
But the competition. Who does LeBron? LeBron just
LeBron had to
joined.
play the super team, probably one of the greatest
Golden
teams
State.
of all time.
And did he beat them? No.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
Golden
he
State.
did.
Golden State.
He beat them. He came back down from 3 to
Once.
1.
He beat them once.
Okay.
He beat them once. Jordan always beat his rivals.
That team would have smoked the Bulls.
smoked. Oh, obviously.
So what's your point?
LeBron
still beat them.
LeBron once. 1 and 3.
Okay. Actually, he was 1 and 2.
1 and 2. I know. LeBron couldn't beat those super teams.
He was playing for a trash Cavs team.
Jordan
He
couldn't.
had 1 good player on his team in Kyrie Irving. Kevin Love was average at best. Jordan had 2 Hall of Fame level players.
Because every other team had the Hall of Fame level. You gotta talk
Well,
about
no
competition.
kidding. That was 20 years ago. They're obviously in the Hall of Fame now. You don't think there's gonna be more than 3 Hall of Famers from the NBA today?
So clearly now,
So
proves my
LeBron is
point.
still beating these elite players.
That proves my point.
No, how does it prove your point at all? You're saying that Jordan beat Hall of Fame players. Well, LeBron can't beat Hall of Famers if no one's in the Hall of Fame yet because they're still playing.
Okay, so
So that disproves
when he
your
won with the
point.
Heat, who did he play against?
He played against the Mavs. I believe they lost that year, but he
Okay.
did play against an elite Celtics team. They had Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce in their prime. Well, a little past their prime, but they're still elite players. Actually, with Boston, they were in their prime. It was with the Nets that they were past their prime. Beat some elite teams there.
He lost to the Spurs.
Okay, that was a dynasty team.
Jordan wins those though. That's the question. Jordan wins those games against the tough competition.
Okay, but the
LeBron
NBA was
doesn't.
so much less even back then than it was today.
even.
Yeah.
You call NBA this NBA even?
Yeah, did you not see how many games the series went to Game 7, Game 6? They were all long series. It's a tough NBA now.
This season you cannot compare at all because they went.
Why did you just try to compare it?
It's a
2 minutes
Mickey.
ago?
It's a Mickey Mouse ring. They won.
When it's convenient, it doesn't count.
Look at before.
Okay, let's look at before.
LeBron made 8 consecutive.
Yeah, because he's a beast. He carried those trash Cavs teams to the
Because there's
finals.
no competition.
Really?
LeBron just goes there.
Oh, okay, he goes. So did they
Okay.
just everyone just forfeits the games?
You look at it here. I just said the competition Jordan had to play much harder than right now than LeBron.
Really?
And the fact that you go to previous segment, the points he's putting up against these players, LeBron's not putting up those points.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure their
putting-
point differential is like 3 points. That's like 1-2 shots a game.
He's getting those assists. He's not getting the points, and he's not doing defensive plays either. He's not stopping these other teams like
really?
Jordan did.
So you've never seen LeBron's amazing chase down blocks in the finals before?
Yes, but how many times has Jordan done that?
I don't know. I wasn't alive. Neither were you. So you don't know either. And if we look back, everyone always said LeBron played in the East. The East is trash. What did he do? He went to the West, won #1 seed, and won the championship. So LeBron can play in the West too.
Next season, we'll see what LeBron does with the Lakers. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be the same at all. You cannot count this season. LeBron He's missing it, all right?
The original point is still that his strength of teammates, and LeBron's strength of teammates is still nowhere near as high as Jordan's was.
Strength of teammates.
Yes.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Yeah,
but
that's
you still cannot.
Okay, but this whole argument point is strength of teammates.
You still cannot deny the fact he still played with Kyrie. He played with 80. He played all.
What has Kyrie won since leaving LeBron? Please tell me. Tell me down below in the comments. What has Kyrie done since he didn't play with LeBron? Before he played with LeBron, nothing.
Right.
After LeBron, nothing.
I don't want this video to go too long. Point is, Jordan played tougher opponents and he played better. LeBron.
But the point of this whole category is strength of teammate, so LeBron wins that category.
Therefore, in the
last category, the accolades, their achievements during their career. LeBron won 4 championships, 4 MVPs, 4 Finals MVPs, and won 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different teams. The only player, I believe, to ever do that.
He lost this one. I'm laughing because here's the stats for Jordan.
Oh, really?
6 rings in 6 attempts.
Okay.
5 MVPs. 11 All NBA teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 All Defense teams.
Okay.
14 All-Stars. And 10 scoring titles. You know how many scoring titles LeBron has? 1.
Proving my point,
1.
LeBron played in a way more offensive era, so his points. And still, go back. Go
1.
look. I guarantee you right now, there is 10 times more talent in the NBA now than when Jordan played. Look at how many dynasties were around when Jordan played. 1, maybe 2. LeBron, you have Golden State's dynasty, you have San Antonio's dynasty, and LeBron still manages through all of that to make it to 10 finals. Let's hear it.
6 is greater than 4.
Okay.
LeBron's been in 10 finals and have only won 4. If he is the greatest of all time,
if we're gonna use that argument,
he would have won more games.
If we're gonna use that argument,
you know what goats do?
Some shots at Eddie first.
What goats do? Goats carry their teams to victory. You look at other sports, you look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady single-handedly carries teams to victories. Clearly, LeBron cannot do that. Jordan, 6 rings in 6 attempts. LeBron, 4 rings in 10 attempts.
If we're gonna go there,
let's go there.
First of all,
let's go there.
Let's go to Eddie's favorite sun kisser, Tom Brady. First of all,
let's go.
By Eddie's argument, Tom Brady's not the GOAT. Put that in the video. I want to make sure everyone makes that nice and clear. Based on Eddie's argument, Tom Brady's not the GOAT. Joe Montana is. Also, Michael Jordan. What dynasty did Michael Jordan have to play in his prime? There was no team that could compete with the Bulls because of how well they were built. LeBron had to play the dynasty Cavaliers teams. Not Cavaliers, Golden State Warrior teams. The dynasty San Antonio Spurs. And a prime Dirk Nowitzki, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And those are the teams that beat him in the finals. Jordan played some washed up teams in the finals always. He's sure they played 1 or 2 good players, but no teams were built like how teams were built in this era, and LeBron has still dominated and made it to 10 NBA Finals appearances. That's unheard of. Nobody has done anything like that, and LeBron has carried, like I said in the last segment, some trash teams to those finals and has put the team on his back. Even now at 35 years old, is still winning Finals MVPs and dominating.
If a guy can make, 8 NBA championships in a row, what does that tell you about the competition? So I'm going to say, you just clearly prove my point here. Even Jordan couldn't do that. Why? Because the competition was harder.
Okay, but you go
and at the end of the day,
first of all, Jordan made like 7 in a row, then retired, so that doesn't make any
has
sense.
10 scoring titles. LeBron has 1. Jordan has 6 rings in 6 attempts. LeBron has 4 in 10 attempts, and LeBron has played a lot more games than Jordan. At the end of the day, what GOAT means is greatest of all time. You look at that through the prime. All the total stats don't matter because yes, obviously you play more, you're gonna have more stats. And even then, you look, the points per game, Jordan is still more. In the prime, Jordan was better, more effective. He won 6 rings
you watched Jordan play in his prime?
Championships compared to LeBron. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying LeBron sucks. LeBron, we're never gonna see a player like this. When his career is done, he's gonna have all these records won. No one's gonna break those records. It's all gonna be him. But that does not determine the GOAT. GOAT, greatest of all time. There's a lot of stuff that goes in there, and it's about the prime. You compare the players to the prime, LeBron will not touch Jordan. And that is why Jordan remains the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And no one, I repeat, no one will take that away from him.
Are you done?
That's my rant.
That's our final remarks. Well, By Eddie's logic, he keeps contradicting himself, so I'm glad I'm debating with a clown here, because he keeps contradicting himself. His arguments aren't making any sense. If we look at LeBron's career, LeBron has played much longer than Jordan was able to. If you look at the teams Jordan played with, Jordan was never able to win a ring without another Hall of Fame player on his team. LeBron won. Kyrie is probably not going to make the Hall of Fame, if we're being honest, based on the his current career trajectory. Kevin Love's not going to do anything. He won with that garbage Cavs team. AD will probably make the Hall of Fame. That's one player. That's nowhere near compared to those prime Bulls teams, and they still won a championship. Even with the Heat, sure, they had built that super team, but LeBron needed that to get over the tough teams that were in the East. He was still able to win a championship, and even then, he still made 10 NBA Finals, almost in a row. Jordan, sure, he won 6 rings, but at the end of the day, there was no competition. The argument you made that LeBron had no competition, it applies to Jordan too, because Jordan would have made those rings in a row if he didn't have to go quit because of his quick retirement. So at the end of the day, your arguments for Jordan can apply just as well to LeBron. So at the end of the day, you're arguing my point too. LeBron is the GOAT.
Listen, if you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe button. If you're new here, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button, and please comment down who's the GOAT, LeBron or Jordan. Make sure to check out our website, 613sportsblog.com. We have a lot of content coming out. We're trying to hit 30,000 views this year. Can we do it? Who knows? And like we said, we hit 50 subscribers. Can we get a little bit more? Can we hit 100 before the end of the year? Thank you guys. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at 613_sports. Listen, knuckleheads, if you think LeBron's better, just remember, 6-4. Peace.
LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Ice on me, man. I got diamonds, but they say that
Nice little entertainment.
I'm